Rubber matches today at 12:35 on 100.7 The Score. More good news for the Astros is that Alex Bregman will be activated off the IL for today's game. Bregman has been out since he strained his left quadricep on June 15th. Bregman was hitting .275 with 7 homers and 34 RBI this season. Follow us on Facebook under Lubbock Sports Station at Double T 97.3 on Twitter and on Instagram. I'm Jeff McGuire for the Double T Sports Network.
Sports from around the South Plains and the great state. This is 100.7 The Score. Game on, Lubbock. The spark in your life you didn't know you needed between breakfast and lunch.
Don't turn your back on bears, men you have wronged, or the dominant turkey during mating season.
This is the end of the bench on 100.7 The Score.
Back here for one more. It's the end of the bench on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. I'm Troy C's David. We're with you for about 10 more minutes. So if you got thoughts, comments, questions, parting shots, hit them up on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through that 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Hey, Trish, you want to check in on the Alliance real quick? Can we do that real quick?
Please do.
Well, you might remember yesterday during the Enlightening press conference that they had on Zoom, correct? You remember that?
Enlightening is one way to put it, yeah.
They mentioned how they would collaborate when it comes to the future of athletic compensation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, according to Brett McMurphy, in a letter obtained by Action Network HQ, Alston case attorneys notified the ACC, Big Ten, and Pac-12, warning the Alliance it would be illegal to collaborate on future of compensation, and if so, the attorneys will not hesitate to seek sanctions or other relief. So things are going swimmingly for the Alliance right now. I put out a GIF, meme or something. I don't even know what they're called. A meme? We Are Us meme? No, I did not do that. I didn't
move. The GIFs or GIFs move.
Okay, so basically I did the thing that you want to do, the milk crate challenge. Yeah. I put the guy on top. Okay. I could not believe this one. It blew my mind. There's a guy standing on the top, and I listed him as the Alliance. Some kid comes over, Steven Seagal style, and kicks the middle of the thing out, and the guy comes crashing down right in the middle, hits his head on one of the milk crates, but that was the SEC. So the Alliance was up on the top, thinking they're all powerful, and the SEC comes and kicks the whole thing down. But why do you want to do that? The milk crate thing.
I like to do stupid, dangerous stuff at times.
Well, that would qualify.
The alligator thing, which would be worse for my health? The wrestling the gator, small gator, obviously.
Or I think you could handle the gator.
You don't think I can handle the milk crates? I have the balance
of the old cat that you had, Fluffy.
Oh no, Flappy.
No, I think it was Fluffy. I still think
I still think I'm lying on that.
I bet you were lying on all of them.
Possibly. You'll never know. Actually, I do want to do the milk crate challenge. Actually, I already did. I told you last night. I was dressed up in the Colts uniform and I did that. That was impressive.
Yeah, that one's not as impressive as he's got padding on.
Well, it's impressive that he got through because it's probably harder to balance with all that extra junk in the trunk.
Yeah, you fall, you got all that padding.
All right, I'm still gonna do it. If I can get the milk crates, that's the biggest deterrent. Well, we got to get to this.
It's now time for the dad joke of the day.
Hijacking the dad joke of the day with the Aggie joke of the day. Just for fun, because I like to have fun at the Aggies' expense at times. Hey, David, how many Aggie freshmen does it take to change a light bulb? None. That's a sophomore course. One more for you.
Okay.
How do you get a Texas A&M graduate off your porch?
Give them a tip after they give you the pizza.
All right. You're on the right line of thinking. Sorry, all our Aggie listeners.
Yeah, I was about to say, I didn't endorse any of those, just in case any of my kids want to go to A&M. I can't make fun because they might be listening. They better be in class.
kids go to A&M.
If they're paying for it, dude, if the school is paying for it, I will become a fan for hopefully just 4 years.
Still gross. Someone asked, did the sports cards ever get opened? Lucas, you're welcome to.
Yes, they were opened.
And 2 days away from
Nothing
moved.
nothing really great into it. Like I said, it's more sitting onto the investments than anything, but Casey and I have ordered more boxes to open here in the next week or two, so they will also be posted on the Facebook page that I am a participant on, the Mint 10 Facebook page.
Is that the one I started following the other day?
I have no idea.
Is that where you did the other?
Yes.
Yes, I did start following that to try to catch your unboxing the other day. I was not successful.
Oh, you didn't? I caught it after the fact. I watched it like...
I tried to click on it. There was no video there. There was no video link.
You're on the wrong link. There's two.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's two.
There's
the super secret
Okay.
clan of gentlemen.
Wow. Well, maybe one of those days I'll get on that list.
I'll send you the link. I don't want you to miss all this awesomeness that is about to happen.
Hey, if I'm not gonna be able to open it, I might as well watch somebody else open it.
You'll see the one, Kobe. You'll see the one where the kid turned his arm into an S pretty gnarly.
I can't watch it. Like I saw
I haven't
the.
seen any of the bad ones yet.
You know?
I've seen one guy break his ankle.
I can't watch. I mean,
He was
I
on
shouldn't do
the
this.
side of the, like he was outside on the sidewalk, and he fell and busted his ankle, and his friend was laughing while he was in pain.
Yeah. It's not a great thing.
Raiders dad, it's not official yet. Just to let you know, he said Aggie-ness is a terminal illness, David. You'll live with that for the rest of your life. It's not official. We just have a junior, so we got a little time to change our mind.
Let's get our mind changed. I would rather go to OU, David, if my opinion counts at all.
Wow.
A&M, I know a lot of people have lost the hatred, the rivalry part of it since they left the conference, but they are still my least favorite of all the schools out there. Least favorite. And I actually know some Aggies I like. But in general, there is a pompous arrogance that comes with a lot of the...
Well, as somebody that used to cover football games in College Station and Kyle Field, I'm not the biggest fan of what Eric Morris and company dubbed the fake army down there. Mm-hmm. Because those guys think they own the sideline.
They do.
And very, very difficult to cover a football game when people with big old hats and
Anybody ever pull a sword on you?
swords. No.
I'm trying to remember, there was a sword pulled on someone that I remember from...
And as much as I dislike that, it was cool every time we went down there. George Bush was at the game and on the field, so I always get to see a president, so that's always cool as well.
That is neat. All right, NIL, maybe doing some good. Well, first, Kevin McCullough got himself another deal, so
Yeah.
great for him.
A handful of baseball players are doing a signing this weekend,
I
too.
saw that. So baseball players, which I am more in favor of these baseball guys getting NIL deals than anybody else because they don't get full scholarships.
That's the question I have. BYU did the thing where they got some company to pay for all of their walk-ons. How come we don't have somebody that does that for the baseball program? What is it? 11.7.
Right.
I mean, talk about a program that needs scholarship money. Why doesn't the entire baseball program have some kind of deal like that in place?
Yeah. Well,
That's the one that needs it more than anything.
$500,000 a piece, yeah, would be fantastic. I hope that something like that does go in place because I'm more in favor of that because it's a complete farce that we even have the scholarship limitations where they are or what they are because we compare football to women's sports. And frankly, while Title IX is there for a reason and for good reason and intent, women's sports don't bring in any sort of the money that football does, so it should be treated completely differently, which affects baseball and plenty of other things. There are women's scholarships that get left unused on campus because you got too many of them. That's not too often that happens, but it's a farce. One good thing that seems to have come away, one, you may know this name or not, he is a Texas Tech target, KJ Lewis, who goes to El Paso Chapin High School. He's a 5-star basketball player that is a Texas Tech target, got offered a $500,000 contract to not go to college. But he says no.
Oh, wow.
He said, nope, I'm turning down $500,000 contract to skip a year of college, which is the first we've seen in this. And he did not allude to it directly, but wondering how much name, image, likeness has played into that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So this may be a good thing for some of these athletes that have considered going to the G League. We may get to see them in college for a year instead. That's it for us. Appreciate the thoughts and comments on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. And we'll be back at it right now at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning with another edition of The End of the Bench. Until then, we'll hand you off the bottom line. Casey and Jamie coming your way next. For Lucas and David, I'm Choice. It's been The End of the Bench on 100.7. Let's go. Join 100.7 The Score, the 5th annual PSP-LCA golf tournament to benefit Lutheran youth campers of the Texas Panhandle on Saturday, September 11th. The 4-person scramble will be at Shadow Hills Golf Course and feature plenty of prizes and lunches included. Each golfer will also receive a commemorative 9/11 golf ball. Contact Laura Trulock at Hope Lutheran Church for more information. It's the 5th annual PSP-LCA golf tournament on Saturday, September 11th at Shadow Hills Golf Course, presented by your friends at 100.7 The Score.
When you drive drowsy, you may see things that aren't there.
The people are doing around. How pretty. And this one is riding a sparkly unicorn.
However, you may not see things that are there until it's too late.
Oh, pretty car.
So always get plenty of rest before long trips. Take breaks, share the wheel, and avoid driving in the middle of the night.
A friendly nurse.
Be safe. Drive smart. Brought to you by TxDOT.
Hey, this is Brent McGavick, right here McGavick Nissan, and they're finally here. The 2022 Nissan Pathfinder with 3 rows available and class-leading price. Also, we have 0% up to 13 models in one of the biggest Nissan dealerships in the state of Texas with 6 stores across the state. We have over 500 used cars available to you. Come check us out right here at McGavick Nissan.
You need it. How about a game of catch at the Rangers' new ballpark? It's on, because for a limited time, Catch on the Field is part of the Globe Life Field Premium Tour. So grab a friend, a family member, and go behind the scenes of the Rangers' home. Take in the views, marvel at the art, the roof, and the Rangers' history literally written on the walls. And then, play catch on a Major League field. Book your tour today at TexasRangers.com/tours.
Ron Burgundy here. Did you know 1 out of every 10 Americans is still not wearing a seatbelt when they drive? It's true. What are these people thinking? Maybe they're thinking they're too cool to get in a car crash. Maybe they're thinking I'm only going a couple of blocks, so no need. Heck, maybe they think only the driver needs a seatbelt. I don't know. The point being, wear your gosh darn seatbelts, folks. It's the law. And tune into Season 4 of the Ron Burgundy Podcast on June 3rd.
Paid for by NHTSA. This is 100.7 The Score.
Yes, perfect. What's the movie with Wolverine? What's the actor's name? About P.T. Barnum, the musical that was out fairly recently. I don't know.
I'm blanking on the name because I'm just imagining Wolverine.
Love that dude. He's in a new movie too now.
The Greatest Showman.
That's Hugh Jackman. Yes, Hugh Jackman. He's the Wolverine. He's the guy on Australia. Have we discussed man crushes? I don't mind a good man crush, and Hugh Jackman is one of my man crushes because of that movie Australia. But he comes out on the big screen and he's all rugged and Australian Marlboro Man looking. I'm like, whoa, I'd like to hang out with that dude. Bradley Cooper, his character in The Hangover, man crush.
He will play Dustin Johnson in the Dustin Johnson biopic or whatever that is.
I think he looks a ton like him. I do like Silver Linings Playbook, but mostly for Jennifer Lawrence, not Bradley Cooper. I thought both of them. And De Niro was excellent in all three. Yeah, he was a degenerate gambler. Yeah. Who do you relate to most in the movie The Hangover? Great question. Let's see. The Press Box. Weekdays 1 to 3 on 100.7 The Score. Game on, Lubbock. It's not about the hype. It's about the score. 100.7 The Score. Game on, Lubbock. Giving you more than just the score. 100.7 The Score.
With your Double T Network Sports Center, I'm Jeff McGuire. Texas Tech football head coach Matt Wells named Callie Shook the starting quarterback for the upcoming season. He and the rest of the Red Raiders are putting the game plan for the University of Houston on September 4th. You can hear it on Double T, 97.3 and 100.7 The Score.
The set. The payoff kicks to Peters. And a high drive well hit to right field. Back goes Johnson, still going, and that ball is history. It's an opposite field three-run Jimmy Jack for DJ Peters. He has busted this ball game open. The Rangers lead it 7-3.
Texas Rangers got a pair of three-run Jimmy Jacks in a 7-3 win over the Cleveland Indians. Game 2 tonight at 5:30 on Double T, 97.3. Houston Astros playing the Kansas City Royals 4-0. Rubber matches today at 12:35 on 100.7 The Score. Dallas Mavericks head coach Jason Kidd has added Jared Dudley to his staff. Dudley was on the Lakers roster last season and played there while Kidd was on staff. He was also on the Lakers in 2020 when they won the NBA championship. High School Fan Zone tonight has coaches from Friendship and Cooper coming in to preview their upcoming season. It all starts at 7 on 100.7 The Score, 107thescore.com, and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. On air, online, on your smart speaker, Double T 97.3. I'm Jeff McGuire for the Double T Sports Network.
Get the latest news from our High School Fan Zone coaches straight to your phone. Catch it all on the 100.7 The Score mobile app. And now, this is the bottom line. Talk radio? Yes, talk radio. So boring, man. Okay. Breaking down the world of sports like only they can. Talking nonsense. Who cares what they're talking about? On 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. Learn! Woo! You love it!
What's happening? Good morning and welcome to the bottom line on AM 950, 100.7 The Score. The Score mobile app at Fox 34 News Now with Jamie Lent and Zach Sparkman. I'm Casey Cowan. Happiest of hump days to you, wherever you may be, all across the LBK, intergalactically, even through that good old Score mobile app. Happy to be a part of yours as we're rolling along for the next 95 minutes. Afternoon baseball is on deck once again to really engage your Little Friday Junior energy. We'll have the Astros here in action on The Score this afternoon, and that coverage begins at 12:35. But we are white hot with sports takes until then. Are you feeling that energy today, Jamie? Are you in Fuego? Blanco? Honcho?
It depends what you're going to get into. But I have some that are available if...
Some white hot energy available?
If you hit on the right topics, you never know.
Right, that's the game I play.
You never know.
People in the audience play Bottom Line Bingo.
Yes.
I play Jamie Lent White Hot Energy Bingo.
Yes. I mean, if we're going to get into...
Trademark that.
Milk crate challenges, I mean, I've got opinions.
White hot!
Okay? But, if you're wanting to talk conference realignment, I'm really just out.
Rather cool. That's not the way I would describe the announcement that we saw come across after we left the air yesterday. It was not a white hot energy, Jamie. At least I've never been one that felt like you could attribute white hot energy to something that translates to nothing burger. Right? That doesn't feel white hot to me, but that's what it felt like yesterday. You and I really spent about 2 hours alluding to this, talking about will we see or hear anything actually substantive, or will there be tangible results, something that you can see and touch and feel is real? And the answer was no, basically. We didn't have a contract. Well, that was interesting. No documentation of the agreement whatsoever. So right out of the gates, and we'll recap some of that as we get into hour number 1 here. But that's the opposite of white hot energy, right?
Yeah, there was none of that really that went on yesterday.
Three-way Zoom call.
We looked each other in the eyes. We shook hands. We didn't want to write down on paper. We all agreed to hate the SEC and ESPN. We thought it would be a bad look on paper, so we just agreed to it verbally.
But also, this is not a response to the SEC's move. We'd like you to remember that.
No.
We love the Big 12 Conference, we value their success, and we're excluding them from this agreement. It was almost like the future is feminine and gender is a social construct time. I mean, there were so many intersecting lines in what they were saying yesterday. I was thinking, wait, slow down. Slow down. But here's what we knew going into it, again, along the lines of substantive or otherwise, kind of expecting otherwise, and mostly got that for now. But also what we expected in the proud tradition of the Pac-12 network, another Pac-12 network bust. Bet they don't replay that again. I'd rather watch Texas take on the Israeli women's pro national volleyball team.
Yes, probably so.
And I mean that earnestly.
Yeah.
Never thought I'd say that.
We thought it was going to be their highest rated program ever, and it may ultimately be, but I bet the time spent listening, which is big, in the TV radio world, the TSL, if they call it, I bet the TSL is pretty low. I think pretty short-lived yesterday.
They all the worst demographics, too. I saw the numbers, you want like that 18 to 35 or something. It was more along the lines of like 85-plus hobo-only category. It was literally those at soup kitchens, I think, that were mostly taking this in, but not even the young hobos. 85-plus. Huh?
Which is actually...
What did he say? Who is that?
It's actually the bottom line's prime audience.
Which one of these guys is the new Jeopardy host? It was quite an event they put on. The Super Friends yesterday, and we'll get into some of the talking points here in hour number 1.
Super Friends. Did they have 3 capes, or did they share one?
Well, for social distancing purposes, they each got their own cape this time around. But George Kalishnikov's cape, new Pac-12 commissioner, just a little bit shorter than the other guys. Kevin Warren's cape, of course, dragging the floor like a baller's would do.
It's funny to me that it feels like Kalishnikov, as you refer to him, and the Pac-12 seems to be leading the charge in all this, but they're the least stable of the 3.
Does it seem that way?
It seems that way to me.
I hadn't really considered that, I don't guess.
It almost feels like the Big Ten and Kevin Warren is like, we're with you. You do whatever you want to do. Do whatever you want to do. Yeah, we're with you. And then he kind of turns like, what is this guy doing?
Did you get that feeling more after the press conference, or is that the way you've kind of viewed this? Because we talked a little bit yesterday on the show about how astounding it was that the Big Ten, who has been elbowing the SEC for room at the top, all of a sudden is saying to the ACC and the Pac-12, conferences whose member institution payouts and outright give a damn mostly was lesser than the Big 12 at one time. It was astounding that the Big 10 was saying, hey, you down there, come hold hands with us.
Yeah.
So I kind of felt like the Big 10 was maybe making the move, but do you feel like more so the power lines on the West Coast?
I feel like the Big Ten's basically like, okay, we'll be a part of this. We'll allow you to look like the fool in all this.
We're not writing it down.
Yes.
That's why they're not writing it down.
Yes. You jump out in front. Right. You do all the talking. I'm just going to chill. If it works for me, I'm going to be like, yep. And if it doesn't work for me, at any point, I'm going to say, I'm out of here. I've not signed anything, so we're gone.
I think you're probably on the money there.
Yeah.
You're probably on the money there. It would make more sense, honestly, than the former, what I described. The Big Ten saying, we'll lead this charge against the SEC, and we need the help of the ACC and the Pac-12. That just didn't quite add up.
I think the Big Ten's too cool to show that they care. Kind of a deal. They know that they do care, but they don't want anybody to know that they...
Yeah, but I don't find it to be artificial. They have the reason to be this way, to be relaxed.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the standard bearer of this group, obviously, as far as actual influence or...
To me, they're the most important.
Cash.
Group. Yeah.
I just say cash. I mean, the way it stacks out, as you would previously compare, Power 5 conferences and certain metrics, there were plenty, at least within this current range of television contracts, that wound up at the Big Ten ahead of the SEC. Clearly, there were some also that the SEC would be in the number 1 spot. But the gigantic gulf is not between the SEC and everybody else. It's between the Big Ten and the SEC and everybody else. So it's just kind of been an interesting dynamic to kind of see come together coast to coast, the Manifest Destiny Super Friends Alliance.
And the double golf now is between everybody else in the Big 12.
Double golfed?
The leftover 8.
When do we get to be an ocean? How many golfs does it take to be an ocean?
As Billy Bean would describe it, there's the SEC, then there's the Big 10, Pac-12, ACC Alliance, then there's 50 feet of crap, and then there's the Big 12.
I prefer golf to 50 feet of crap, I gotta be honest. I mean, the Gulf of Mexico, at least get on a kayak and get about that yak life, fishing and whatnot, having a cerveza. Which do you prefer? I don't like his analogy at all.
Yeah, I prefer the yak life.
Yeah, I'm gonna reject that. Sorry, Zach. That one's been voted down. We got
I think that was the first thing you said today. And that's what you brought.
Those are the breaks, man.
What I get for quoting Billy Bean and AKA Brad Pitt.
Them's the breaks. But you got nowhere to go but up, I would say, from here. Like, you can only get better. And we still got plenty of time to circle the wagons and bring it on back around. Resolution to a vote, I guess, has now been made clear. Texas Tech has a QB1. We'll get into some comments from Matt Wells coming up on the other side. And we're getting back to the talking points. Big 10, Pac-12, ACC, Manifest Destiny, Super Friends Alliance. On AM 950, 100.7 The Score.
Giving you more than just the score. 100.7 The Score.
With your Double T Network Sports Center, I'm Jeff McGuire. Texas Tech football head coach Matt Wells named Tyler Shough the starting quarterback for the upcoming season. Shough transferred to Tech after starting at Oregon. He and the rest of the Red Raiders are putting the game plan for the University of Houston on September 4th. You can hear it on Double T, 97.3 and 100.7 The Score.
Close swings, and he hits one deep to right. Straight away and back, and that ball is history. A 3-run Jimmy Jack for Nathaniel Lowe here in the top of the first. The Rangers grab a 3-0 lead.
Texas Rangers got a pair of 3-run Jimmy Jacks in a 7-3 win over the Cleveland Indians. Taylor Hearn and 4 relievers held Cleveland's offense in check after they had scored 17 runs and winning 3 straight. Game 2 tonight at 5:30 on Double T, 97.3. Houston Astros blanked the Kansas City Royals 4-0. Luis Garcia pitched into the 7th inning and 2 relievers completed a 4-hitter. The rubber match is today at 12:35 on 100.7 The Score. More good news for the Astros is that Alex Bregman will be activated off the IL for today's game. Bregman has been out since he strained his left quadricep on June 15th. Bregman was hitting .275 with 7 homers and 34 RBI this season. Follow us on Facebook under Lubbock Sports Station at Double T 97.3 on Twitter and on Instagram. I'm Jeff McGuire for the Double T Sports Network.
Sports, your favorite thing in the world, which means we're your favorite station in the world. That's how that works, right? Thanks for listening to 100.7 The Score. At 100.7 The Score, you hear us say, "Game on, Lubbock." What does that mean? It first means the games you want to hear are on 100.7 The Score. The Texas Tech Red Raiders, Lubbock Cooper Athletics, the NFL, NCAA basketball, the College World Series, the San Antonio Spurs, and more can be heard on 100.7 The Score. Secondly, it's a challenge. We don't settle for scraps. Our job is sports. So, now you know. 100.7 The Score. Game on, Lubbock.
Hey Tech fans, Red Raider football season tickets are on sale now, and we want you to be at Jones AT&T Stadium this fall to cheer on your Red Raiders. Season tickets are starting at just $150. That's right, you can be there for all 6 home games for just $25 each. Don't wait any longer, lock in your seats today, and be there this fall to make Jones AT&T Stadium the best home field advantage in the nation. Visit TexasTech.com or call 806-742-TECH to get your tickets today. Red Raider football, our town, our team.
All I remember is getting buckled into a car seat and waking up in a hospital a week later. A drunk driver took my mother from me. I wish that he could see the pain. I don't have to say anything. I just want him to see my face. I'm not against people drinking, but I am for drinking responsibly because drunk driving needs to stop.
Learn about the real cost of drunk driving at facesofdrunkdriving.com. Sponsored by the Texas Department of Transportation.
Suddenlink's best internet offer just got even better. Get 200 meg internet for only $30 a month for 1 year. We're giving you twice the speed for the same low price. And we'll even boost our offer with a $2 $200 Visa prepaid card. Visit suddenlink.com today. For new residential customers, reflects auto pay discount. Taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. Not transferable and not available in all areas. Wired connection up to 200 megs. Speed availability, pricing, offers, and terms vary by area. 90 days of continuous service required for gift card. Allow 4 to 6 weeks for delivery. See suddenlink.com for details.
Hi, I'm Dr. Anita Chandra with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. Helmets are important for every bike ride, no matter how short. Did you know helmets are also important to wear when skateboarding, inline skating, or riding a scooter? A helmet can protect against a skull fracture or other facial injuries. Look for a helmet that fits correctly and that's certified for safety. Make sure you and your child wear a helmet every time. For more, visit healthychildren.org or talk with your pediatrician.
Up today on the bottom line on 100.7 The Score AM 950, The Score mobile app, and Fox 34 News Now. We've got you until 12:35 today afternoon baseball for you and the boys and the beers and the buddies and the babes. I was trying to show some gender fairness there, and the only B I could come up with was babes. That's not the only one I could come up with. The only one I was going to share was babes, and now I feel like that was the wrong direction to go. I don't think they're going to like that. Ladies. You know, if you're in the baseball crew watching it this afternoon, throwing one back, that's fine also, but it really ruins the alliteration I was going for, you know? The bells. The bells. Now it sounds like I could have a speech impediment and I'm trying to say bears. The bells.
The bells.
That's at 12:35.
Chicago Bells.
Anybody else giving you an Astros-Royals setup like that today? I think not. Got that market cornered here on the bottom line. So we're with you until then. As I mentioned just a moment ago, some conclusions have been reached officially, Jamie, as Matt Wells has announced that Tyler Shuck is QB1 on September 4th. In part, as part of the release from Texas Tech, Coach Wells said, "As I've said for several months now, this is the most talented our quarterback room has been since we arrived here at Texas Tech. After evaluating the entire body of work, we feel as a staff that Tyler gives this team the best chance to win. He's well respected by his teammates, a tireless worker, and has developed a strong understanding of what we want to do as an offense. Tyler's arrival has only increased the competitiveness of our quarterback room as Henry Columbia has put together possibly the best camp of his career. Our staff has confidence," which, by the way, Wells previously... No, that's not right. He wasn't at Utah. Columbia was a Utah guy. No, Utah State.
Utah State.
So Wells presided over that year of his camp also? He presided over every year.
I think there might be they would have been every year.
Just trying to put it into context.
Yeah. All 4 of Hank Columbia's fall camps.
And that's the Walking Sports Almanac. And here's America's second favorite game. Are you going to challenge? I'm not challenged. I'm backing down from that one. Wells goes on to say, "Our staff has confidence in Henry's ability to lead this offense, and I know he'll continue to prepare with the same mindset. Donovan Smith, Baron Morton both have bright futures here at Texas Tech, and they'll continue to battle for backup reps." So what we assumed to be a picture that was going to develop as we got closer to the kickoff has now come to fruition here, Jamie. We don't have to wait on a guy, at least for week 1, to trot out to discover who is going to be the guy that trots out there. So excited to see someone at the steering wheel, and I would say entrenched, at least to the furthest degree that a guy can be, to begin this season, because I don't know how long it's been since I really felt like you had a pretty good plan to build with, man. How much of a revolving door has it been, or how many different options have you been forced to consider?
You just feel better about the depth this year than you have in quite some time. I mean, the thought that if Tyler Shuck went down for whatever reason, that you would have to go to a backup, and you don't feel like, oh my goodness, this is the one guy who really has to perform if we have any chance. I mean, it feels like you have other guys that can do the job.
Can I say I don't feel that way? I still feel like it's an emergency if Tyler Shuck is going down.
You think so?
I really do.
Well, I mean, I don't think
really
that...
That hasn't changed for me. Plan A, the feeling around that's definitely changed, but...
Okay, well, I I don't think the step back is dramatic as it's been in years prior. And I also know that this is I think it's an upgrade over last year, but I also know that he lost his starting job. Tyler Shuck last year, and so it's not as if you got this guy after he was killing it in the Pac-12 conference, and you felt like, oh, he just wants to make a better move up to. I mean, he had lost his gig. So while I like what I saw on Saturday and I like what I've seen in his highlight tapes, I don't expect him to be perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I do expect an upgrade from last year, definitely.
It's funny, if you look on Oregon Twitter message boards, they were talking about Tyler Shuck very similarly to what Texas Tech fans were saying about Alan Bowman. I don't understand that.
In what way?
Just in that they're very frustrated with him, didn't have faith in him.
Unreliable, inconsistent.
And whereas going back and watching Tyler Shuck tape, and not just like highlights, but drives and 30-minute, just about every offensive snap of various games.
Yeah.
I see far better than Alan Bowman.
Yeah, you see flashes of greatness.
Yeah, a huge upgrade. Like I don't get why they were so frustrated. Maybe it was the flashes, but Justin Herbert, who
they also have an Oregon expectation, we should say.
That
it's going to be quite different than the Tech fans right now.
He was taking over for
right now. I was going to say we've had some high expectations of quarterback, but not now.
Taking over for a guy like Justin Herbert, 7th overall pick, I think. So definitely stepping into some big shoes to fill. Whereas here he's stepping into very small shoes to fill. Literally, I think Alan Bowman only had like a size 8.5.
Please get the guy shoes that fit.
Yeah.
Let's not cheap out on this, if anything.
And if anybody knows what size shoes Alan Bowman was wearing, it'd be Zach.
He never tied the shoes. Maybe that's his issue.
Anybody out there want to challenge Zach on that? Step to the plate. Step in the box, son. I guess the context around my changed feeling, given what I feel like otherwise, Henry Columbia, I don't think is any kind of plan. Otherwise, you're probably dealing with a more talented option than you'd had prior as far as backups go with Baron Morton. But as a guy that's incredibly green, true freshman, that's also incredibly scary if you had to turn to it. The thought going into last year, Jamie, or the last few years, whoever you were naming or whoever was the guy in week one, there was just already context for me as a Tech fan to think, all right, either because of poor play or inconsistent play, he could be out in a week 2, 3, 4, or say in the case of Alan Bowman, the brittle factor, he could be out in a week 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't yet have either feeling about Tyler Shuck. That's the biggest change for me. So I have a better feeling because I don't necessarily guarantee myself having to consider the other options. Yet I may find out it is unchanged in that regard. But I gotta be honest, when I do get to those other options still, the more talented options are green behind the ears. And otherwise, the only thing that there is to consider is the same thing that we had a season ago. A guy that I think we saw bump his head on the ceiling in Big 12 play, that being Henry Columbia. I'm not saying it's the worst thing we ever saw, and it certainly wasn't last year, but still concerning to me if you had to go that route.
Yeah, and I feel like Columbia, I feel like we ruined Henry Columbia last year. And by that, I mean offensive line was horrible. And when he was in there, it felt like we as in Texas Tech coaching staff, took away what he did well. His ability to adjust on the fly and make plays. It felt like to me he was made, hey, you're going to take a step or two drop here, or 3-step drop, and you can get rid of the football, and if nobody's open, you're going to throw it out of bounds. And we didn't see any of that creativity that I thought we had seen from him earlier. Yeah. So I have a hope and give him the respect to feel like that with a different system this year and hopefully an improved offensive line, we could see solid play. I agree, his ceiling's not as high, and the guys with the higher ceiling are behind him with way less experience, and that is a little bit scary. But at the same time, the talent sometimes is going to overtake some lack of experience, and I think you're way more talented in that position than you have been in years past. I mean, some of the guys that you've had to go to, the McLean Carters of the world, the guy from Rice, I can't even remember his name.
Good for you.
What was his name?
Very fortunate.
I don't remember.
I love it. Don't make me.
Yeah.
I got a smile on my face
I mean, the options are just so much better right now, it feels like.
Yeah, I agree. I think part of, though, where we would agree maybe otherwise is exactly based on what you have described, the difference between, say, a Columbia and a Morton. Is how you said you would consider the context of who you need to call on and when.
and to what range. If there's still half a season or more to play and you're having to turn to a B option, you're thinking maybe more about the talented freshman. If it's the third quarter and things are still on the line, need to beat a B option, you're probably thinking about Henry Colombi. So it'll be interesting to see how those decisions are kind of processed as we roll through this. And I still don't know necessarily what to think about Colombi's trend line last year. Was he not put in a position to be successful as the season went on, or was he revealed to have a ceiling and of a certain height, and that's what it was? I don't really know, but I'm always afraid when I see, a guy thrown in. He's improvising. What was that, the Kansas State game? Was that his first action on the fly? I'm trying to remember.
Yes. Yeah.
It was a painful experience either way, just like most of them. When there is some success there, and then it follows up with a downward trend line just about every other time, I know there was frustration with the offensive coordinator to the degree that you got rid of one, but I think I'm typically more inclined to think, when there's preparation involved week after week after week, here's what he's going to look like. Because I still kind of feel like, regardless of quote-unquote being put in positions to have success or not, Jamie, that talent or that ability will produce some success. And man, I don't really feel like we saw much. I'm sure there are Tech fans that see it both ways.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't settled on anything because it was confusing to see.
Yeah, I think I'm there with you. It's trying to figure out what exactly we saw. Did he hit his ceiling, or were they holding him back?
Yeah, was it an offense in free fall, just in every regard anyway? And that's more so what it was going to look like, no matter what. Maybe some of that revealed as we get into the season this year. We're back to the Super Friends Alliance coming up next on 100.7 The Score.
On the Double T Sports Network, this is the Wreckham Report, presented by Lubbock Truck Sales.
Texas Tech football is just 10 days away from kicking off the season. The Red Raiders now know who the quarterback's going to be, taking the snaps against Houston on September 4th. Tech head coach Matt Wells announced on Tuesday that Tyler Sharp will be the QB1 for the upcoming season. The Oregon transfer helped lead the Ducks to a 5-2 record and a Pac-12 title last season, where he threw for 1,559 yards and 13 touchdowns. While the QB competition is over for this fall, Coach Wells said the other quarterbacks on the team have taken the news very well.
There only be one guy that plays it. There needs to be a lot of eyes on the sidelines helping that guy, a lot of encouragement and support, and I don't have any reason to believe they won't lose.
The Red Raiders kick the season off on September 4th against the Houston Cougars, and you know that game and every game on Double T 97.3. And don't forget, the Texas Tech soccer team will be back at home tomorrow night when they play Hartford in the second home match of the season. That's today's Wreckham Report on the Double T Sports Network.
Supporting the Red Raiders, that's what we do at Lubbock Truck Sales. Serving the South Plains since 1990, this is a family-built and owned company by James and Cody Kinsey. Because when you need to do some serious hauling, Lubbock Truck Sales has the trucks and trailers built by the names you trust, both new and used. Plus, there's a 26-bay service department, body shop, and we can source any part you need. For sales, service, and support, come to Lubbock Truck Sales at Loop 289 on the Slayton Highway. Lubbock Truck Sales, proud to travel with the Red Raiders. What is sports? Sports is family. It's mom driving everyone to soccer practice. It's dad showing you how to throw a curveball. It's tailgating together before the big kickoff. It's your folks giving you the loudest cheer from the stands when coach finally puts you in the game. Sports is family, and that's why we love it. It's 100.7 The Score.
This is Damon Amendolara with a CBS Sports Minute, sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. AutoZone. The Big Ten, the ACC, and the Pac-12 joined forces yesterday and formed an alliance. Together, they'll be stronger. They came together, discussed the volatile future of college athletics, drafted some agreements, looked it over, and decided not to do anything. What we got from the three commissioners yesterday was a lot of talk, but no walk. Nothing concrete was settled, but most of the three leagues will work together to create more inter-conference games, but nothing certain there. And maybe they'll protect one another from poaching, but even that's vague. So what exactly was it? It was a press conference to attempt to settle some concerns by using corporate speak and buzzwords like stability, without accomplishing anything. This is Damon Amendolara.
In times of fear, World Vision is there for the most vulnerable. For
the last 70 years, we've been standing with kids and families through natural disasters, war, and disease, delivering life-saving aid and helping rebuild lives. And with every act of courage, faith, and love, we do more than just stop the spread of fear. We replace it with hope. Learn more at worldvision.org.
Samsung is doing the most. Their new foldable phones are blowing my mind. The new Galaxy Z Fold 3 5G literally opens up to become a tablet, then folds back to fit into your pocket, and the ultra-compact Galaxy Z Flip 3 5G brings new dimension to a classic. Both phones fold and flex for hands-free selfies and video calls. Pre-ordering get up to $200 in Samsung.com credit. Valid through August 26th while supplies last at select retailers. See terms and conditions at Samsung.com.
Well, this may come as a shock to some of you guys.
There's more to sports than the final score. But let's face it, that final score is pretty important.
Get that through your head!
This is 100.7 The Score. Game on, Lubbock.
Bottom line on 100.7 The Score, AM 950, The Score mobile app, and Fox 34 News Now. I'm Casey Cowan alongside Jamie Lent. Zach Sparkman is on the other side of the protective glass. We got you until 12:35 today. Astros baseball this afternoon on The Score. Holding hands, playing Red Rover, and not letting the Big 12 come over is essentially what we saw yesterday. Big 10, Pac-12, ACC, Super Friends, Manifest Destiny Alliance, Nothing Burger. They ain't got any paperwork. They don't have paperwork, Jamie. I don't know what staggered me the most. There were a few things I found somewhat surprising. When Kalishnikov, Pac-12 commissioner, said there's no signed contract, that was one of the most staggering.
The really crazy part is yet they sent all these bullet points out to everybody in the country. So basically, you could print it out and make sure you were reading off of it and waste your paper, yet they didn't want to use their paper.
Just like California going green. Won't chop any trees down, they'll burn them all down. I'm gonna chop it down.
Is done for like a Las Vegas marriage. Is there
How much paperwork?
Is there much paperwork done there?
No, man, it's like fortune cookie size paper.
So it's gonna work out just like those, perfectly. Every Las Vegas wedding ends up perfectly, right?
I've never been engaged in one yet. I remember my girl Brittany, beautiful. She got into one that didn't go well once upon a time.